I come through like a freight train, about to push the line back. Only see the gold line, don't matter if your line stack. Because I'm a soldier, you can see my face paint. Know that I'ma get mine by knowing that the rest can't. Y'all looking scared, man, better call a timeout. I'm so fresh, everything I run a fly route.
The urban renewal continues here in Columbus. Old traditions, they have been reinvigorated. But one thing always remains the same. Moments ago, the Ohio State Buckeyes taking the field. Welcome, everyone, to a beautiful fall day here in the capital city of Ohio. Big Ten Network football presented by the United States Marine Corps. It is the first meeting between the UAB Blazers out of Conference USA and the Ohio State Buckeyes. We had nasty weather in the area last night, but that has all moved away. Turned out to be a gorgeous fall afternoon here in Columbus. 60 degrees, now up to 62 degrees for our kickoff. Slight breeze, 8 miles per hour. Can't ask for much better. Now, today's sideline reports are being brought to you by Best Buy. Lisa Byington is down on the field. Lisa, what's the latest?
Well, Eric, when this Ohio State offense takes the field, Braxton Miller will have the freedom to make a play change at the line of scrimmage. He's never been able to do that before in this Urban Meyer offense. Now, calling audibles is something that he has worked on all week long, and Urban Meyer said they didn't have him do it the first 3 weeks because they wanted to build a foundation for him, but he said, hey, getting us in the right play is the job of the quarterback. It's week 4. It's now time.
That's going to be a big thing to keep an eye on because this is the last non-conference game for Urban Meyer and the Buckeyes. Next week, the conference slate starts with a road game at Michigan State. Urban Meyer, perfect so far through his first 3 games at Ohio State. Of course, coming back to Ohio State, he was a graduate assistant under Earl Bruce back in the 80s. And Urban Meyer trying to join Earl Bruce on this list. These are the coaches in Ohio State history who have won their first 4 games. Guys like Howard Jones, Carol Widows. You got to go a long way to get to Earl Bruce back in 1979, but a win today, and Urban Meyer can join his mentor.
Well, I think this team has progressed nicely throughout the first 3 games on both sides of the football, looking to take that next step, especially in the passing game for the offense.
Now, there's a familiar face to people with a keen Big Ten eye. Garrett McGee, first-year head coach at UAB, spent a long time in the Big Ten as an assistant at Northwestern, part of a lot of those dynamic offenses that Randy Walker and Pat Fitzgerald have led over the last handful of seasons. While we have a moment to take a look at our Principal Financial Group edge to the game.
Game 2 here for Jordan Hall this year, and I think it's important to get him about 15 to 20 touches today to continue to shake off that rust from his foot injury. Defensively, they need to focus on limiting the big plays. Last week versus Cal, in the second half, I counted 7 plays of 15 yards or more that were given up. UAB is a much more passing style team, so they're going to try to take some opportunities over the top.
Derek, what do you read into this? Ohio State, they have won the toss. They have elected to defer the decision to the second half. UAB is going to receive. Ohio State wants to start on defense.
UAB trying to see if they can get that offense going a little bit, and you got to think that Urban Meyer really wants to see how his defense responds this week. We talked about tackling. They normally just tackle on Tuesdays here in Columbus. Urban Meyer was not happy with the performance last week, so they tackled on Tuesday and on Wednesday, putting a big emphasis on making an improvement once they enter conference play.
Yeah, the big plays, a big-time issue for Ohio State against Cal last week on this field. Drew Basil's going to kick it off, get us started. Into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Ball will be moved out to the 25-yard line. UAB Blazers out of Conference USA, led by a junior quarterback. Jonathan Perry is going to be the quarterback when they break the huddle along that sideline. They're still getting last-minute instructions from Garrett McGee. Jonathan Perry, a starter halfway through last year's season, has been the starter so far in the first 3 games of this year.
UAB still trying to find out who they want to take into conference play at the quarterback position. We'll likely see both Perry and the backup, Austin Brown, this afternoon.
UAB starts with 3 wide receivers in the game. Greg Franklin is the tailback. They fake it to Franklin. The quarterback Perry keeps it, and he picks up 5 first down yards. UAB, they've played 2 games so far this year. Lost a tough one at home against Troy out of the Sun Belt. And then last week, they had to play at a very difficult stadium in Columbia, South Carolina against the Gamecocks. And they lost against Steve Spurrier's team. Catch and throw. Pass is caught out of the backfield. Patrick Kern out close to the first down marker. Let's take a look at the starters on offense for UAB. A couple of changes to tell you about. Billy Autry making his first start at center. That's always difficult when you got a newbie snapping the ball. Aaron Green is a new starter at right guard. Backs and receivers, their skill position guy, Jackie Williams. He has caught a pass in 25 consecutive games. He has the most big play potential for the Blazers. All right, 3rd down and 1. Big spot early in this game for Ohio State defensively. And there seems to be some confusion, and UAB is forced to call a timeout. Yeah, you got those 3 first-half timeouts. You might as well use them if you're not sure what you're doing on 3rd down and 1. While we have a moment, let's take a look at the Auto Owners Insurance starting defense for Ohio State. Big day for Nathan Williams, the senior from Washington Courthouse, making his first start in 2012, coming off that microfracture knee surgery in the offseason. Linebackers, first start of the year for Storm Klein, who's suspended for the first couple of games. Now he's healthy, ready to go, and he's resumed that middle linebacker spot. And in the secondary, Orion Johnson, he's going to get the first start of the year. C.J. Barnett, one of the safeties, won't play today, not even dressed. So Orion Johnson, number 19, who has started in the past, getting his first start of the year this afternoon. 3rd down and 1. They put Hearn in motion. They want to throw for it. Simon can't make the tackle, and Jonathan Perry makes him pay. Big gainer across the 45-yard line.
Talked at the top of the broadcast about tackling, and you're seeing it kind of come to light early on in the game. John Simon, one of the most dependable defenders for Ohio State, comes in from the left-hand side. He's got a free shot, but a nice job by Jonathan Perry right there, putting that right foot in the ground when he sees the rush, getting up the field and being able to pick up a first down.
18 yards on 2 runs for the quarterback, Perry. Buckeyes showing blitz. Blazers looking to the sideline. A little dump out of the backfield to Franklin, who can't make the play. Buckeyes catch a break.
They sure did catch a break because UAB had the perfect call against that blitz by Ohio State. There was nobody in route to make a tackle, and they've been able to make that catch. There was a lot of open field. Again, Simon coming around the corner, you can see right there, if they just make the catch, there's a lot of room to pick up yards.
Perry steps up in the pocket and goes down. Garrett Goebel and Jonathan Hankins combined for the stop. That's a loss of 1.
It's a common front you're going to see out of Ohio State when you get into long situations. 2nd or 3rd and long, they're going to bring that 3 down lineman. They put Hankins in the middle. Sometimes they move him outside, and then they just want to read the quarterback, make sure they keep everything in front of him.
Buckeye defensive coordinator Luke Fickell never complains about his rotation of defensive linemen. They've been really good so far this year. Third down and long. Play clock down to 3. Simon getting in the backfield. Pass is dumped off complete, but short of the first down marker. Jay Davis tackled by Orion Johnson. That'll bring up 4th down.
Talked about Orion Johnson making his first start of the season, but he is a veteran. Nice job of making an open field tackle, but John Simon just continues to get in the backfield. Jonathan Perry's gonna have to make sure he understands where 54 in red is every single snap.
Hunter Mullins, sophomore for UAB, will punt it away. Devin Smith back deep. Buckeyes almost got it, may have gotten a piece of Mullins. Flag is down. Going to be a touchback if the punt stands. This penalty may go against Ohio State.
Running into the kicker by the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
There's a 4th down and 3. The 5-yard penalty results in the first down for UAB.
You know, Urban Meyer's special teams, his teams are always known for coming after the punter, and that's a normal situation where you want to try to go after a block is in the midfield because you're likely not going to be able to get a good return off of it. But Travis Howard, number 7, just got to understand where you're at on the field and where the punter is. You run to the block point and you don't run into his leg.
So a cheapy first down for Garrett McGee's UAB Blazers. They stay on the field, ball now at the 41-yard line. First carry, Darren Reeves. He's swallowed up after a pickup of a yard. Nathan Williams, number 43, credited with his first tackle. Ohio State. So much excitement here in Columbus. Under the first year of Urban Meyer. Son of Ohio, Urban Meyer, coming back to the place where he was a graduate assistant back in the mid-'80s. Tons of time for Perry. Dumped down in another drop. Patrick Hearn can't hang on.
Anytime you're going into a hostile environment on the road like UAB is, you cannot afford to have drop passes. We've already seen 2 of them on the first drive here for the Blazers. Every single opportunity you get, you've got to take advantage of it. And we're seeing maybe some of the nerves taking over for UAB.
Jonathan Perry, we told you, he's playing for his job. They don't know who's going to be their quarterback once the Conference USA season starts. He needs help from his teammates. They've already dropped 2 passes. 3rd down and 9. Middle screen set up nicely. Reeves trying to get to the edge. Loses the ball. Blazers jump on it. Etienne Sabino knocked it loose, and the Blazers fortunate to keep possession.
One of the strengths of this Ohio State linebacking core may not be the fact that they are run stuffers, guys that are come up to the line of scrimmage, but these guys can flat out run east to west. Watch Sabino come flying into your screen right there, number 6. Not only secure the tackle, but also get that back arm in to try to rake the football out.
Look at this decision. Garrett McGee is going to keep his offense on the field. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 3. Perry wants to run, dives. I don't think he got there. Trying to get to the 31. He's tripped up at the 32.
And he had a little bit of seam. If he could have just stayed on his feet and maybe stumbled for an extra 3 or 4 feet, he probably would have had enough for a first down. As you see, number 10, Ryan Shazier, comes to chase him down from the backside, but right there, gets tripped up a little bit. You can see he comes down to the ground before the first down marker.
So almost a 5-minute drive for UAB. Goes by the wayside, and Braxton Miller will take over this Ohio State offense.
They've just been sensational this year. Obviously, through the running game has been so special, but he really took a step forward last week throwing the football.
Miller wants to throw, has a man, passes way too long. Devin Smith had a good 5 yards on the cornerback on the wide side.
A little bit of pressure in Braxton Miller's face, but he's just got to calm himself down because Devin Smith is just wide open. It looked like Jordan Hall went right by a blocking assignment. He could have been able to chip the defensive tackle there, Derek Scott, to give Miller a couple of extra seconds.
Just getting started here at the Horseshoe. Ohio State, their first possession. 2nd down and 10. Jordan Hall moves into the backfield next to Miller. They flip it to Hall. Pushed out of bounds after a nice gain on 2nd down. Cornelius Richards with the tackle. Let's take a look at the Ohio State starters on offense. Marcus Hall didn't play at all last year, but he's coming on strong now his junior year. Junior from Cleveland, 6'5", 315 pounds. Backs and receivers. Now the story so far this year has been Devin Smith, the sophomore from Massillon. Already 3 touchdowns, most of them of the spectacular variety. Trying to stay on the field. 3rd down and 3. Another errant pass trying to get it to Hall on the flank, and it's going to be 3 and out.
And Eric, they had it set up again. They had Stoneburner along with Devin Smith out in front trying to get blocks, and you can see just Braxton Miller, especially when a running back is running side to side, that ball has to be delivered so accurately. There's not a whole lot of room. Urban Meyer, you can see right at the end of that, knew that they had a great play dialed up.
So UAB has the football for almost 5 minutes on their first possession. Ohio State has it for less than a minute. Uh-oh, blocked punt. Ohio State tried a new punt formation, and it does not work. Nick Adams not only blocks it, but picks it up and scores the touchdown.
Well, Eric, you mentioned it. Coach Meyer told us when we were chatting with him yesterday that they were going to give a new punt formation a look. They've been using a couple of different snappers. George McCreadis was in on this one, but you can see the protection was nowhere near in the right spot as Nick Adams just came there and just took it right off of the foot of Ben Buchanan. Good special teams call right there by UAB to go after the block early on in the game.
State gets one back. At least they blocked the extra point. So we've had blocked kicks each of the last 2 plays. A blocked punt results in a touchdown for UAB, and Ohio State blocks the extra point. Timeout on the field here at Ohio Stadium. 100,000 fans here, a little bit stunned. It is a 6-0 lead for UAB. BTN football is presented by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines, and by John Deere, the all-new, all-powerful Gator RSX 850i. Ohio State's been playing football at Ohio Stadium for 90 years now. With a win today, Ohio State will have won 400 games here at this facility. No, right now, not a great start. Ohio State has a punt blocked and returned for a touchdown.
And that's got to hurt the head coach because Urban Meyer has been known for an offensive guy, but he's also the special teams coordinator. We've got a chance to go out to practice, and he is involved in every single phase. And punt, most coaches will tell you, is the most important phase, most important play in the game of football because it's the one play that you can guarantee to change field position of 40 yards or more every single snap.
Low kickoff, picked up at the 4-yard line and then dropped. Bryante Dunn trying to. It's Devin Smith, who is tackled before he can get to the 15-yard line.
All right, here's where the block comes in right there, and you can see Zach Boren, number 44 for Ohio State, is the personal protector. He's got 2 guys coming in. He does the great job by blocking the inside guy. That's the most easy guy to come in to block the kick. But it was a nice play by UAB, and then Ohio State selling out on the blocked extra point to keep one of those off the board.
Ohio State, only 3 plays on offense so far. A couple of incomplete passes. Braxton Miller misfiring early. Now he's going to try and ride it, and he gives it to Jordan Hall. Hall thrown out of bounds. Nice gain on first down. Pickup of 9.
Yeah, Jordan Hall got a couple of nice blocks right there by Jake Stoneburner and by Corey Brown coming in on the right-hand side of your screen. Look at Corey Brown right there with a nice block, staying on the defender throughout the entire play. That's what you want to see from your receivers downfield.
Braxton Miller quite possibly changing the play. Jordan Hall has a first down. Lisa Byington telling us before the game about the new responsibility added to Braxton Miller's plate today. More opportunity to audible and change plays at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think it's a natural progression for a quarterback. What we got to remember is although Braxton played a lot last year, he's still a fairly young quarterback. He had to learn an entirely new system this offseason and through training camp, so the coaches didn't want to put the audible on his plate too early on in the year.
Tight end Jeff Hireman goes from one end of the line to the other. And another run for Jordan Hall. Out to the 30-yard line. Take a look at the Auto Owners Insurance starting defense for UAB. They've had some trouble so far this year. Daim Watkins, Boyette, Derek Scott, Chris Walton, the front wall. Middle linebacker is most experienced player on defense, Marvin Burdett, senior from Batesville, Mississippi. And in the secondary, a very green corner in Kelton Brackett, true freshman from Mobile, Alabama. He is getting his first start of his young career. Got to figure Ohio State knows it. Will they take advantage of number 21 in white? Another carry for Jordan Hall. They want to get him nice and loose, getting ready for conference play. Another carry for him.
Yeah, and Eric, I think we got a chance to see right there Braxton Miller surveying the defense. He saw the pressure coming from both sides, made an easy call to let his offense know that he was going to change the play. Got the offense into a much better running play and was able to move the chains. Nice job right there by Braxton Miller, getting this offense in a play that would be successful.
Gives to the fullback, Zach Boren. Flies through the line, a pickup of 5. Now, if you're looking for Louisiana Tech at Illinois or Central Michigan and Iowa, go to btn.com/gamefinder to see where you can find your game. Four early games around the Big Ten, this one, and also UTEP and Wisconsin up in Madison. 5 straight runs for the Buckeyes now on this drive. Jordan Hall. This time that play was doomed from the start. And he's swamped by Daim Watkins.
I think Ohio State got away with a false start right there. Jordan Hall looked like he took a little false step towards the line of scrimmage, thinking that the snap was going to come a little early. Officiating staff didn't see it that way.
3rd down and 3. Ohio State down 6-0. They've had a punt block and returned for a touchdown. UAB, they bring 4. Line drive dropped by Devin Smith. Devin makes a lot of big plays, but sometimes the simple play is not made.
You know, that's exactly what Tom Herman was telling us yesterday, is that he's made some sensational plays down the field, but he said, I'm just as concerned with the 3 or 4 yard catch that moves the chains and keeps a drive going. That's just as important as us scoring a touchdown, is being able to stay on the field and keep our defense off of the field.
Each of the last 2 Buckeye drives have ended when they haven't converted a 3rd down and 3. Jackie Williams on this punt return. Williams tackled at the 27-yard line. A couple of flags falling down on the field. Punt of 39 yards, 9-yard return if it stands.
Illegal block in the back during the return. Number 10, half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
So the Blazers will have to move backwards. Garrick McKee's Blazers, they have themselves a 6-0 lead, and they're going to have the ball with their offense on the field, trying to continue this lead here at Ohio Stadium. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Columbus, Ohio. UAB has come to town and taken an early 6-0 lead over Ohio State. With my partner, Derek Rackley, I'm Eric Collins. And well, Derek is always well connected. He's got the second screen going. UAB buzzing right now.
Yeah, this is called multitasking right here. Checking Twitter, checking the other scores around the league. Got to keep yourself busy up here.
Got to see what is trending. And,
That's right.
We'll keep you integrated as well. We've got a lot of different things going on throughout the course of our afternoon. And you know, the Twitterverse always buzzing about Big Ten football, and BTN Connect is the place to join the conversation. See what fans and the media are saying, vote in our Twitter polls, track the stats, and find out who is trending in the Big Ten today. It's all at btn.com/connect. Jamarcus Nelson trending right there with a 13-yard catch and run. Another first down for the UAB Blazers. They're feeling confident early on in this one.
Yeah, we talked about UAB being more of a pass-heavy team, or at least their success this year has come more through the passing game than the running game. But if they're going to be able to slow down this Ohio State pass rush all day long, they're going to have to get that running game element.
Blazers get out from behind that hole with a 13-yard gain. Darren Reeves blown up in the backfield by Ryan Shazier. Let's go to Mike Hall in Chicago for BTN.com studio update.
Hi there, Eric. The other game on BTN right now is Iowa against Central Michigan. This is the first touchdown pass of the season for James Vandenberg to Kevontae Martin Manley. It is 7-all right now. Hawkeyes are driving.
Thanks, Mike. Nice defensive play by Ryan Shazier. Bring up a 2nd down and 9. UAB wants to throw. Perry. Did he stay in bounds? No. Incomplete. Looking along the sideline for Jay Davis. And 9.
Perry doing a nice job of keeping himself alive there. Ohio State brought more. Get free. See the spin move right there by number 54. And Perry, nice job of keeping himself alive. Good effort downfield right there. Davis not able to get that foot in bounds and make it a complete catch.
Did you see Jonathan Hankins blow up Darren Reeves? That's not a fair fight. Hankins 322 pounds. This is Reeves out of the backfield now, trying to shake out the cobwebs, and he does. He's got a first down out to the 35-yard line. On 3rd and 9, they pick up 12.
Yeah, big play right there for UAB to be able to keep this drive going. And again, Jonathan Perry just does a nice job of finding his running backs, getting the ball in their hands with some room to run. And again, you're seeing a couple of missed tackles right there, bad pursuit angles. One of the things Luke Fick will tell us about, it's not all just about the technique of tackling, it's taking some bad pursuit angles as well.
They fake the handoff. Perry rolling in the pocket, dumps it out to Reeves, who makes a circus catch and pays the price. Pickup of 11 yards. Christian Bryant on the tackle, but this Blazer offense has been effective.
Well, Perry's really not able to have enough time to look downfield. He's just, you see, just right at the last second dumps that one off to Reeves. Sometimes the best asset for a quarterback is that check down, the running back coming out of the backfield.
That's big Jonathan Hankins down on the ground. Actually ran into his own man. A teammate came in from behind him. We'll take a timeout. Back to Columbus in a moment. Jonathan Hankins being looked at on the Ohio State sidelines. Appears that he may be okay. It was a scary moment.
Yeah, it looks like right at the end of the play, he just gets rolled up by his own player. You'll see him right there, kind of goes to the ground. The good news is that you didn't notice during the commercial break is that he did come off on his own power, took a couple of mock snaps on the sidelines just to make sure he could get into his stance and get off the football, and it looks like he's good to go.
Tommy Shutt has come on the field to replace him. Perry wants to throw. Man is open, pass too strong. Looking for Jamarcus Nelson. Lisa Byington, what's going on with this Ohio State defense?
Listening over here, Eric, just a couple of things. Cornerback coach Kerry Combs was warning his secondary there about the flare screen. He said he felt like that was a check, so he wanted them to be ready for that when UAB's on offense. And also Mike Vrabel, you know, very an emotional guy. He said, hey guys, we aren't focusing. We have to play with confidence. Someone has to find a spark. We're not going to let them score anymore.
Thanks, Lisa. 2nd down and 10. Play action. Perry again. A dart. Oh my! Catch is made, and a lick was put on by Christian Bryant.
You know, throughout the first few weeks of the college football season, there's been a lot of plays that have been looked at as bad hits. That, in my opinion, is a great hit right there by Christian Bryant. He uses his shoulder pad. He goes low.
On a 3rd down and 1, UAB picks up another first down with Darren Reeves along the right side. May have gone too quick. There's a flag down on the field. It was 3rd down and 1. The run obviously was enough to pick up the first down.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 15. 15-yard penalty. Third down.
Wide receiver Jackie Williams called with the low block, and it's going to move the Blazers back.
A tough break right there for UAB. Have a nice little drive going, able to move the chains a little bit, and then you get that 15-yard penalty that backs your team up quite a bit. You can see right down at the end right there was Jackie Williams at the end of the play. Is where that low block came.
It's not a true 15-yard penalty. They actually take the penalty back from the game, so it's going to be, instead of a 3rd down and 1, a 3rd down and 8. Jonathan Hankins back on the field for Ohio State. Perry swallowed before he gets to the 1st down marker. Garrett Goebel and others combined for the stop.
Jeff Brom, the offensive coordinator for UAB, keeps trying to see if he can take a couple of shots downfield, but this defensive front for Ohio State has just been getting around the corner too quickly. That time you had both Jonathan Hankins and Nathan Williams kind of having a meet me at the quarterback party, and Perry didn't have enough time. He had to step up to elude the sack.
Hunter Mullins, sophomore, will come on and try and punt it away. Last time. Before he can, we're going to have a timeout. So Ohio State takes the timeout. We'll take it with them. We come back, UAB in punt formation here at Ohio Stadium.
But they're not on the tree.
1:52 remaining here in the first quarter. Ohio State trails UAB 6-0. UAB, second punt of the game, and we have a flag down on the field. Jordan Hall was bumped as he tried to go after the football. So the kicking game has been adventurous for both sides.
It's definitely made a difference so far in the ball game, but the punt team has got to give the returner an opportunity to catch the football. It was a little short.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team, number 11. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
You can see right at the last second, Jordan Hall's coming up the field because the punt was much shorter than he anticipated, and UAB didn't give him enough room to be able to go after the return.
They call that penalty on number 11, Calvin Jones. It's the same guy who blocked the Ohio State punt. Look at this. We've already had a blocked punt against Ohio State. They dropped a pass, and they haven't converted a 3rd down. Both 3rd downs are manageable. 3rd and 3 twice. Braxton Miller, little pitch out right side. Corey Brown trying to get to the edge. Picks up 4 yards on 1st down. Let's go to Mike Hall in Chicago for a BTN.com studio update.
Hey, Eric, you want some more kicking game fun? UTEP scores and then goes for the extra point. Konrad Zagzebski blocks it. That's Devin Smith picking it up and going the other way to get 2 points. Just your standard football score, 6-2.
Good stuff, Mike. Thanks. Jeez. What's going on with the kicking game? Got to get that stuff buttoned up before conference play starts. Rod Smith, his first carry of the day. Tackled by LaMarcus Farmer, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and manageable for Ohio State. Let's take a look at today's Twitter poll question. Is Braxton Miller a Heisman candidate? Hashtag Braxton yes. Hashtag Braxton no. We'll have results in the second half. When are we going to see the great running Braxton Miller? He hasn't run the football yet so far.
Just wait, it's coming. You know, if you've watched enough Ohio State football with Braxton Miller playing quarterback, at any moment he can take it 55, 56 yards for a touchdown.
Maybe a good time here. 3rd down and 4. Whistle blows the play dead.
False start, offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Fullback Zach Boren.
Yeah, Zach ended up coming across in motion, and again, you can see that here he is right here. He's anticipating the snap to come just a little bit sooner. You can see he inches towards the line of scrimmage right there. Can't do that until the ball snapped.
down and 9. Miller throwing it deep down the field. Incomplete. Just too far for Corey Brown to make the catch.
Well, and if that ball, if he was rolling out to the right, there's a chance that he completes that. But because he's coming to the left, away from his throwing arm, he just didn't have enough zip on the football, and it let him. Corey Brown tried to run underneath it, just not enough speed.
Fourth non-conference game of the year for Ohio State. Second time they've trailed after the first quarter. 6-0 UAB over Ohio State. Second quarter's next. Start of the second quarter, Ohio State trailing UAB 6-0. Buckeyes offensively only 2 first downs in the first quarter. BTN football, of course, presented by the United States Marine Corps. Another punt. Ben Buchanan kicks it to Jackie Williams, who was met and immediately dropped after receiving that punt at the 26-yard line. Punt of 35 yards, no return. Derek, thoughts on the first quarter play for Ohio State?
I think it was sluggish on offense for the Buckeyes. I think they were struggling to find their way. Braxton Miller just 1 of 5 passing in the first quarter. We saw the drop pass by Devin Smith. We saw some pressure coming in as well. I think they just have to settle down and start doing what they do best. That's get Braxton Miller going, running the football. And talking with the UAB coaches, they knew that that was the biggest challenge for them coming in, was how do they get Braxton Miller slowed down through the first quarter. They've done a pretty good job of that.
Look at this, UAB, we knew this was going to happen, but not exactly when it was going to happen. A new quarterback in the game, Austin Brown. Brown hands it off. Darren Reeves banks forward and has a nice first down run of 9 yards. Austin Brown, redshirt freshman from Flowery Branch, Georgia. That's outside of Atlanta. 6'1", 208 pounds.
Garrick McGee told us that he was going to get him into the ball game. Not quite sure, as you mentioned, Eric, where their quarterback situation was going into conference play as they start next week. Austin Brown has had a pretty good season so far. He's only thrown 4 passes, but he's completed all 4 of them.
Spits it out. Now 5 for 5. Nick Adams has the first down and more out to the 45-yard line. BTN goes where you want, when you want it with BTN to go. Presented by AutoZone Insurance. Watch every football game on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. BTN to go is available at no extra charge to subscribers who see BTN with their cable, satellite, or participating video provider. Jackie Williams, a pickup of 9 yards. UAB starting to get their gains in big chunks here.
We talked about Jackie Williams being the most dependable receiver for UAB, and Austin Brown coming into the game. It's been really accurate early on.
Short game, but it's enough for a first down. Patrick Kern with the catch. Tackled at the 43-yard line, a pickup of 3. Another impressive drive for Garrick McGee's Blazers. They haven't been able to cash in yet, with their only points coming on a blocked punt. It was returned for a touchdown, but offensively, they have been impressive. Wraparound handoff to Dontavius Jackson, transfer from Georgia.
Something's going to have to happen positive for Ohio State, whether that's the defense forces a turnover, because you can tell if you're paying attention to the audio here in the game, the crowd is absolutely not in the game. When the defense is on the field, that's when they should have the advantage. That's when the crowd should be into the ball game, but they're just not feeling any energy coming out of either side of the football.
Redshirt freshman quarterback in the game. This is Brown carrying. Tackled by Etienne Savino, a pickup of 3. Another first down for UAB.
Well, you can see the differences in the 2 different quarterbacks. Jonathan Perry's got a little bit more speed with his legs, so that's the part of the game that they give him, is that dynamic of him being able to run the football. Austin Brown, much more of a passer. You don't see the same type of athleticism running the football, so that's where Garrick McGee will just have to decide what type of offense he wants to be.
Blazers want to throw. Pass too strong. Adams was open for a moment along that sideline.
You know, the biggest part of that play to me was the fact that Christian Bryant laid off of that hit. Again, pressured by Ohio State getting into the backfield, but how many times do we see a defensive back at the end of the play go lay out a receiver along the sidelines when they don't have to? That was an excellent job by Christian Bryant, laying off and not making the hit or causing the penalty.
UAB continues to have time-consuming drives against this Buckeye defense. Nowhere to go. John Simon blowing that play up along with Jonathan Hankins, and it's a loss of 2.
Nathan Williams right there, also nice job reading the play. He sees Austin Brown trying to run the option, and he slow plays it, is what we call it, at the top of your screen. He's just waiting for Austin Brown to make a commitment. Either he's going to pitch it or he's going to run it. He plays both of them and comes in and makes the tackle.
3rd and 12. And a flag down.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Chris Hubbard, one of the tackles. And the ball to be moved back 5 yards.
See right at the top, the false start right there by Chris Hubbard. One of the biggest ways that you can slow down a drive, especially when you've been driving down the field, is those penalties. Now you're putting UAB in a difficult situation, 3rd and 17, to try to pick up the 1st down and keep the drive going.
And Buckeyes want to stop UAB right here because the Blazers have a really good field goal kicker who they're not hesitant to try a long field goal with. Screen is set up. Reeves down to the 30-yard line. This may be a situation where they can try that long field goal now.
Bradley Roby not playing this afternoon because of injury, so Duran Grant, number 12 for Ohio State's getting into the action. You see him right there at the bottom of your screen. He'll come back in and gets off of a block, comes in and makes the tackle. I'd like to see him use his arms right there. Too many times, especially in the game last week, guys are going in and lunging at an offensive player, and that's where you miss tackles.
Ty Long has made all 3 of his field goal attempts this year, 9 in a row, dating back to last season. This is a 47-yarder. Wind at his back. Kick is good. Who would have thought UAB, first time they ever take on Ohio State, and they have themselves a 9-0 lead. Ohio State's going to have to pick themselves up. They'll have the ball on offense. Braxton Miller will be the quarterback when we come back. BTN football presented by the United States Marine Corps. 2nd quarter action. 10:27 left in the 2nd quarter, and Ohio State trailing UAB 9-0. Let's go down to Lisa Byington with more on Jordan Hall and his special shoe he's wearing.
Yeah, he's back here for the 2nd straight time, playing in the 2nd straight game. You know, he injured in the summer. He stepped on a piece of glass and injured a tendon on the bottom of his foot, so he actually has to wear this special shoe. You see it goes around his right toe, kind of like a pitcher. And what they did, they actually had Nike help him with this. What this does, it actually prevents him from bending that toe too much or having someone step on that toe. So a protective solution here on the right toe of Jordan Hall's shoe.
Good stuff. Thanks, Lisa. Hey, you've seen that with pitchers sometimes. Their back foot that they drag on the mound to keep from wearing out their shoe and hurting their toes. So see if it works for Jordan Hall. He'll be back out on offense with Ohio State after the touchback. Ball will be taken out to the 25-yard line. This October, the creators of BTN's award-winning original series, The Journey, will launch the show that will give fans an unprecedented look at the student athletes and coaches throughout the season. The Journey Big Ten Football 2012, presented by Best Buy, premieres October 3rd on BTN. That's going to be a lot of fun, going behind the scenes, all access type of deal. Shot beautifully. If you like Big Ten football, you're going to love that. Give to Jordan Hall, left end, using that fancy shoe of his to pick up 13 yards. 1st down, Ohio State.
And he had big Marcus Hall pulling around the corner to get out in front of him. We talked about him getting touches to kind of shake that rust off. Last week in that game versus Cal, tripped over his feet a couple of times, some of his own offensive players' feet a couple of times, but you're seeing that he's starting to get that footwork back, which will be important for this offense moving forward.
Yeah, that's just the third first down for Ohio State. Derek Scott being helped on the field. While we have a moment, let's go to Mike Hall in Chicago for a BTN.com studio update.
Hey, Eric, you only got 9 points on the board in your game, but in Iowa City, very different story. The Chippewas and Hawkeyes keep going back and forth. This is a 29-yard TD to Titus Davis. Central Michigan up 17-14 now.
Holy smokes, Dan Lefevre. Geez, they're doing it for him. Graduated a couple years ago, but they're still scoring at bunches are the Chippewas. Thanks, Mike. Let's take a look at the injury to Derek Scott. He's number 95.
It's like one of his players was on the ground and he kind of got tied up a little bit pursuing the play.
After the gain of 13, another run for Jordan Hall and another first down carry. Must be the shoes. Pickup of 12.
Gotta be the shoes right now. I think he's a pretty good athlete too. That's why Urban Meyer was drawing those comparisons of him to Percy Harvin to be that really special, multi-versatile player for this offense.
Now they're featuring Jordan Hall, his third straight carry. Let's talk about this Ohio State offense. They put up nice numbers this year, but Urban Meyer's still not pleased.
Yeah, he said we're averaging over 40 points a game, but I'm not happy. And I think if you look at through the first quarter and a little bit here into the second, outside of this drive, you're starting to see the reasons why he's unhappy.
Catch and throw. Miller finds Devin Smith, pushed out of bounds by LaMarcus Farmer.
This
Tempo has really changed.
Yeah, absolutely, Eric. This is when Ohio State is at their best. When they get a couple of good plays, they get a first down, they really start picking up the tempo, and they need to have a big drive here for a couple of reasons. Number one, they got to get some points on the board, but number two, their defense was on the field for a 10-play drive on that last possession. They need to let those guys get a blow so they can come out and be aggressive the next time UAB's on the field.
Quarterback keeper Miller with a nice fake. First run of the day is a beauty. Threw that right leg out, went left, picks up 14.
And there's just not too many people, let alone quarterbacks, that have the athletic ability to watch them stick this right foot in the ground. There's just not very many people that have the ability to stop their entire body motion to be able to put one foot in the ground and get north and south.
The guy he faked, Marvin Burdett, leading tackler for the UAB Blazers, their middle linebacker, normally not faked the way that Braxton Miller just faked him. Another carry, Jordan Hall between the tackles.
Eric, you talked about Marvin Burdett. There's not a whole lot you can do. You can't get frustrated like that because you know he's got the speed, especially to break it outside. That's where quarterbacks want to go. They want to break it outside. And he puts the foot in the ground and goes right up the middle. You can't be upset that you missed that tackle.
He has not thought about running the football much here in this first half. Trying to get the pass game going early and now trying to get Jordan Hall going. This is Hall on the edge. Tackled in space. Beautiful tackle. Patrick Bastian with the stop.
That was a good defensive play because when you get Jordan Hall in space, that's exactly what Ohio State wants. They want him to get outside, to be one-on-one with a defender, be able to use his footwork. Bastian does a nice job of squaring him up, using good technique to be able to get him down.
All right, this has been an issue. Third down and fairly short. Ohio State 0 for 3 on third downs so far today. Rod Smith back in the backfield. And they give it to Smith. He's got the first down. Jake Gaines with the tackle.
Starting to see some of those offensive linemen for Ohio State come around the corner. Nice job by 78 Andrew Norrow right there, being able to lead Rod Smith through the hole.
Another carry for Smith. He's got a chance. Smith pushed out of bounds at about the 1.
very well could have been the exact same play, Eric. You'll see Norwell come around again one more time, just bellying around the corner to try to get on a defender. And then Rod Smith, outside of Carlos Hyde, probably one of the most physical running backs that they have on the roster here in Ohio State.
6'3", 228 pounds. Smith stays in the game next to Miller. They give it to him, and he tries to barrel in. Did he get there? No signal yet. Touchdown, Ohio State.
What I like what Rod Smith brings to the table. He's had some fumble issues in the past, but he said coaches told us that he earned his way for more carries this week during practice by the way that he came out and worked.
They're going to take a longer look at this one. Did he cross the goal line?
It's a good shot here right down the goal line. It's just tough to see. This looks like Rod Smith right there. Again, the replay officials upstairs are trying to find indisputable video evidence that shows them otherwise. And when you get a pile of guys like that, I just don't know if there's going to be enough video. And from what I'm told, the officials are looking at on scoring plays is that they need a camera shot that goes right down the end zone line that will show them something that will go against the call on the field. A camera shot that goes right down the goal line. That's a really good look right there, and I just don't know, with all those bodies flying around, if you can say that the ball did not go in there.
After further review, the play stands as called on the field. Touchdown.
So the touchdown stands for Ohio State. They've got 6 on the board, looking for 7 with Drew Basil attempting the extra point. Basil missed an extra point a week ago. He's still chapped about that. Ohio State had a grand total of 42 yards in the first quarter. Urban Meyer's bunch, they put 75 yards and a touchdown on the board with that drive. Yeah, there's something special about a football Saturday in Columbus, Ohio. This is the 4th straight football Saturday for Ohio State, kicking off the season with 4 straight non-conference games here at home. Take a look at the most recent scoring drive, brought to you by Speedway. Ohio State speeding down the field, 75 yards in 10 plays.
Yeah, exactly what they needed. We talked about it right before the drive started. They had to get on the field, stay on the field, get the offense some momentum, get the defense a little bit of rest, put 7 points on the board. Task accomplished right there for Ohio State.
Derek, I'm going to give you a chance right now while we wait this kickoff. Who's going to be the quarterback for UAB? Jonathan Perry or the kid we just saw, Austin Brown?
I think it's going to be Austin Brown. I just in that one drive, I like what he brought to the table, especially in the passing game.
Jackie Williams starts at the 4. And Williams has a big seam down the right side. He's tackled at the 38-yard line, 35 yards on the return. So special teams continues to be a bit of a problem for Ohio State. Let's go down in the field for Lisa Byington. Lisa, what do you have?
Eric, we just want to remind you to not forget about the Twitter hashtag Buckeyes for today's game. You can find it in the upper right corner of the screen. Follow all of the Twitter activity and get plugged in. www.btn.com/connect. I hope you guys are using your second screen.
Within 5 yards of the free kick line. That 5-yard penalty will be
guy I know. I love
from the
So
end
we
of
got
the
many
run.
screens going
First
on
down.
here.
More problems for Urban Meyer and Ohio State. This is going to be wonderful starting field position. Ball's at the 44-yard line. Urban wants an explanation. Remaining in at quarterback is Austin Brown. Darren Reeves behind him in the backfield. Pistol formation. Reeves has it. And Reeves is met as he gets to the midfield stripe. Ryan Shazier made the tackle, and he's actually still down on the UAB sideline. Training staff going to have to come all the way across to check him out.
Shazier, another one of those guys that's probably a little bit undersized for the traditional Ohio State linebacker, but he is always coming so hard. That's excellent technique right there, but you can see right at the end, it almost looks like that right leg gets tied up. Absolutely. Big Jonathan Hankins coming in at the end.
Ryan Shazier, one of the Ohio State linebackers, was able to make it to the Ohio State sideline on his own, but he's being looked at right now. Connor Kroll replaces him. And that was Kroll who just missed the tackle that allowed Darren Reeves to get another first down. Connor Kroll, number 36, out of Waldorf, Maryland, one of the linebackers now replacing Ryan Shazier. And a fresh set of downs for UAB. 9 first downs already for UAB. That's one more than the Buckeyes. Nick Adams crunched as he crosses over the 40. Travis Howard with the tackle. Pickup of 8.
Part of the reason that UAB is having success on offense is that they've just got a pretty good tempo going. Tempo as far as how fast they're getting to the line of scrimmage and how they're getting the play off. And then during the play, there's pretty good motion as far as the play action and the quarterback getting the ball out of their hands quickly.
Buckeyes playing without C.J. Barnett. We haven't seen Bradley Roby either. Secondary has got some different names in it. Ohio State just trying to get by. Second down and short. Caught from behind. The quarterback, Brown, is tackled. No gain. It'll bring up third down and 2. Jonathan Hankins continues to be a force.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be tough for UAB to be able to run anything up between the tackles, because the offensive front for UAB is just not big enough and strong enough to be able to compete, especially right in the middle when you got Garrett Goebel and Jonathan Hankins, 2 big experienced tackles.
Rolling pocket. Reeves out of the backfield. Can't get to the marker. Great open field tackling for Ohio State.
Nice break right there by Corey Brown. The other Corey Brown on the Ohio State roster. He sniffs this one out right away. You can see him come flying up to the line of scrimmage to make that tackle in open space right there to bring up fourth down. Good eyes right there by Corey Brown, seeing that play develop.
And I like this out of UAB. It appears as if they're going to go for it. First time in school history they're taking on Ohio State. They've played well. You're just on the outskirts of field goal range. It's fourth down and 2. You're going to let the play clock wind all the way down. Do they call a timeout?
Timeout. Alabama, Birmingham. 30-second timeout.
Blazers do call the timeout. We'll come back with their decision in a moment.
To my eyes, I don't understand giving up. Look into my eyes, I don't understand giving up. Look into my eyes, I don't understand giving up. I'm going long, all you gotta do is throw it up. This fella you got on me know that I'ma show him up. He can back 10 yards, I'ma still blow by. I know that he your fastest, but to me he's slow guy.
Welcome back, everyone. UAB has decided to attempt a field goal. This would be 54 yards. Ty Long, he's made 10 straight field goals. Wind at his back. Does he have enough leg? Long is long enough from 54 yards, and UAB tacks 3 more on.
Eric, we were talking to Garrett McGee yesterday, and I asked him the question, how comfortable and how long are you for your field goals? And he said 52 yards is what I feel good at. You mentioned he had about maybe a 2 to 5 yard wind at his back, right in Ty Long's wheelhouse. And this one right here was money from the start. See, Ty Long knew he had that one.
Thanks for not throwing me into the bus. We were talking to Garrett McGee. He said 52 with my kicker, and I chuckled, and he didn't chuckle back. He was dead serious. He likes Ty Long, and you can see why. Dating back to last year, he's now made 11 consecutive field goals. So the Blazers come to Columbus, Ohio, and put up 12 first-half points. All of their points being scored by their special teams. 2 field goals, including that career-long 54-yarder for Ty Long. And, of course, from their first score came on a blocked punt that was recovered for a touchdown for UAB. Back in the end zone. Touchback ball will be at the 25-yard line. This is where Ohio State started the last time they had the ball.
When you're out on that field, you're going to do whatever it takes. Anything you can to better the team.
You got to get the mojo back. Get your heads up and play ball.
$105,000 people screaming for you. You're going to do whatever you can to help the guy next to you. Everyone's got your back. It's time to go.
Yeah, it's just a gorgeous series. The Journey Big Ten Football 2012 presented by Best Buy. It's going to premiere right here on BTN October 3rd. Every school in the conference involved. It is just wonderful access. Catch is made on first down. Ohio State going to get that quick offense going. Devin Smith, the pickup of 12. Lisa, what's the latest down there on the field with UAB?
Well, the coaches are telling their players you got to stay up, keep focused, that sort of thing. Last year I was on the sideline when Toledo was giving Ohio State a game. They were much more excited. It almost seems like UAB has a business-like approach, like they expect to be leading Ohio State.
Played really well. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, solid first half for UAB out of Conference USA. Michael Thomas with that catch. That is his first catch as a Buckeye.
Michael Thomas, one of those guys that really shined during the spring practices for Ohio State and showed the coaches that he's got the ability to get into that wide receiver rotation. It's good for him to get a catch, get him going a little bit here in the 2012 season.
Clock continues to move. Miller steps up, has a man that is caught. Corey Brown knocked out of bounds, but a big gainer for Ohio State. 20 yards for Corey Brown.
Early on in the ball game, you saw a lot of UAB defensive linemen sliding off of blocks, but right there, nice protection by that Ohio State offensive line allowed Braxton Miller the ability to step up in the pocket and be able to deliver that football on time.
Corey Brown, a criminology major, wants to check out possibly the FBI when he finishes his football playing days. Another pass situation, and it's caught again. That man, Corey Brown.
It's a nice play design right there. You saw a post-corner combination between Spencer and Corey Brown. And Braxton Miller, again, nice job of stepping up in the pocket and being able to deliver that ball. Catchable opportunity for Brown.
Gains of 20 and 25. Braxton Miller to Corey Brown. Ball's now on the 12-yard line. Designed quarterback run. Miller weaving inside the 5. Touchdown, Ohio State. This kid is special. First lead of the day for Ohio State, 13-12, pending the extra point. 14-12, Ohio State. Lickety split. Ohio State, 75 yards and a touchdown, a 12-yard run for Braxton Miller.
Eric, you talked about design quarterback run. You see Zach Bourne, number 44, and that spin move right there, there's just nothing you can do. That's a type of play that a running back makes. Quarterbacks are not supposed to be able to make spin moves like that, so now we've seen a couple of fancy footwork moves, the shake earlier on in the ball game, and then that spin move right there, getting away from the tackle in the stretch to get in the end zone. It's right there. That's enough to get your head coach to crack. Just a little smile. Just a little smile.
He knows what he has in Braxton Miller.
Every time you talk to him and you say, Coach, tell us about Braxton Miller, it's almost like the first couple words that come out of his mouth is sick athlete. He's just a sick athlete. I mean, and he really feels like he hasn't played quarterback yet. He's just out there being an athlete. They really are just this week starting to give him a little bit more reins to the offense, the ability to check plays like Lisa was talking about early on in the ball game. We saw a little bit here in the first half, but that's a part of spot right there that you just can't defend, the athleticism of Braxton Miller.
Pretty nice second quarter from Braxton Miller. 5 for 5. 70 yards and a rushing touchdown. Can't ask for more. First time Ohio State has had the lead. Jackie Williams on this kickoff return. Out to the 23-yard line. No doubt about it after that play. Braxton Miller, he is trending on BTN Connect. You can follow the social media conversation about today's games and see who else is trending right now. Go to btn.com/connect. 6th rushing touchdown of the season for the sophomore, Braxton Miller. See how aggressive UAB will be. 1:45 remaining in the first half. Austin Brown, redshirt freshman, still in at quarterback. Straight up the gut with Reeves. Jonathan Hankins, still a force, makes the tackle.
You can see why everybody's so high on Jonathan Hankins, because a lot of times you'll see a running back break through arm tackles. There's not too many arm tackles being broken right there from Jonathan Hankins.
Now the Buckeyes call a timeout, their second timeout. They have one remaining. Good news defensively. Ohio State, number 10, back on the field for that most recent play. Ryan Shazier, scary moment for him with an awkward fall. He was looked at on the sideline. It appears that everything's okay. He's back playing now.
Yeah, it's a big boost. You can see the production that he had last week against Cal. 10 solo tackles, 13 total. He's just an outstanding linebacker, and he's only going to get better. He is just a sophomore right now, and really in his first time this season as being a starter. And he has just been so effective. Here's another look at it a couple of drives ago when he got rolled up right at the end there by Jonathan Hankins. And it's great for this Ohio State defense to see him back out on the field.
Ohio State linebacking core starting to evolve over the last couple of weeks. One of Shazier's buddies, Etienne Sabino, is today's United States Marine Corps leader of the game. He graduated already back in August with a degree in family resource management. His quote, "You come to Ohio State to graduate. I'm thankful I was able to accomplish that." Didn't get a ton of playing time over the last couple of years, but he kept his eye on the prize, and he is already graduated. Ball loose on the field. Is it a fumble? Oh, they're going to call him down. Kennard Backman was down. Now the ruling is it was a fumble, and Ohio State has it, and Ohio State is down. The original call was that the receiver was down.
Field is a fumble recovered by an Ohio State player with his knee on the ground. First down.
So Ohio State has the ball. 1:28 left here in the first half.
Again, right at the end of the play right here, you can see the ball gets knocked out by Backman.
Oh, that's a fumble.
And you can see Duran Grant, number 12, was still on his knees when he picked up the football. That's the reason why the officials, after the change of possession, ruled him down, because he was on his knees when he picked up the ball. And you can see that ball clearly comes out before Backman is down on the ground.
Before the snap.
Timeout, Alabama-Birmingham. 30-second timeout.
I think Garrick McGee just wants some clarification. There's a bit of confusion over there right in front of the UAB sideline, and he just wants to make sure that that call was clear with everyone involved. Catch, fumble, Ohio State recovery.
Well, you saw in the tackle that his legs came out from underneath him. You can see him saying that I wanted a timeout right at the last second. Head linesman makes the call for the timeout. And he's clearly trying to get an explanation of what happened on the play.
Now it's ruled properly. Fumble on the field recovered by Ohio State. Stay tuned, everyone. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report coming your way. Dave, Jerry, and Howard will be along from our Chicago studio. Scores and highlights. A busy day around the Big Ten. All right, UAB, no more first half timeouts. Buckeyes with one.
Remember, change of possession here. Looks like Ohio State's going to stay in an empty set. Look to see if Tom Herman and Braxton Miller try to take a shot down the field early.
Much improved first quarter to second quarter. A perfect 5 for 5 passing, Braxton Miller. 70 yards throwing and a rushing touchdown. UAB showing blitz, they don't bring it. Only bring 4. Miller runs past the first wall, trying to get to the edge. Miller, spun out of bounds inside the 15. 19 more yards for Braxton Miller.
Watch this footwork again. Bastion, number 47, thinks he's got him dead in the water, is going to make the tackle. And once again, the shakes on Braxton Miller. Just every single week he continues to do this. And if you're a defensive player, how are you going to make that play?
First down, Miller. Caught by Brown inside the 5.
You see how everything works together, Eric. Braxton Miller didn't have very many carries at all in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the ball game. Ever since he started running it, look at how things have opened up in the passing game for Ohio State.
They give it to Boren, and the big fella scores. Second touchdown of the year, Zach Boren. And Ohio State starting to come alive.
Quickly how the tides can turn in this game. Even on that last drive when Ohio State was on defense, looked like it might be a 14 to 12 half. They get the turnover, they bring it right in for a touchdown. Go up 9 points.
It is the Blazers who are the ones getting burned. Ohio State has scored 3 touchdowns in their last 9 offensive plays.
Ohio State just really had to get some momentum going on offense. And again, here was that play that set up the touchdown to Corey Brown. The passing game coming alive, and coaches really felt like Zach Boren's got the ability to run the football, and this is a great situation to put him in the ball game with his size to be able to pound the ball in the end zone. Good job of washing down the defense there by the offensive line.
Not only 3 touchdowns in the last 5:29 for Ohio State, but 2 in the last 48 seconds. Hadn't always been this way for Urban Meyer and the Buckeyes. UAB has been a very game opponent. Gotta figure UAB just wants to get to that locker room and regroup. Another chance for Williams along the right sideline. A lot of hitting going on. Well, UAB a moment ago had the ball, trying to get that offense in gear, and they fumbled. Led to 7 more points for Ohio State. Will they continue to be aggressive with no timeouts left and 56 seconds left here in the second quarter?
I think if you're UAB, you just run a running play or two here and make sure that you don't fumble the football again and give Ohio State another opportunity to go into the locker room at halftime and regroup.
Delayed handoff to Reeves. That'll take the ball across the 30 and stop the clock temporarily, as that's going to be a first down for the Blazers. Reeves, the helmet coming off, so he's going to be off the field for a play.
11-yard gain to the 32. UAB ball first and 10.
Player's helmet came off. By rule, there will be a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock for 38 seconds and wind the clock on my signal.
It's all part of that new rule. The official said that there's a 10-second runoff, so if the helmet comes off by a player in the last 59 seconds of either the second quarter or the fourth quarter, the first half or second half, it also results in a 10-second runoff.
Correction. The ball carrier gained a first down. Therefore, there is no 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock for 48 seconds.
So there was a little asterisk of the rule right there, that if they pick up the first down, it is not a 10-second runoff.
Reeves still has to leave the game for a play. He's replaced by Dontavius Jackson. Brown steps up in the pocket and almost is picked off Sabino. Don't know what the Blazers trying to accomplish right now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Eric. I mean, they did pick up the first down. They were able to move the chains. But I think you're flirting with fire a little bit with the type of momentum that Ohio State has gained over the last 5 minutes of the ball game. You throw an interception, you're going to put Braxton Miller on the field to potentially put another touchdown on the board. I mean, that's nearly picked off right there by Sabino.
Reeves back into the game. Swarmed and dropped at the 32-yard line. John Simon and others on the tackle. Clock continues to move. Ohio State can't stop it if they want to, but it doesn't appear as if Urban Meyer is interested in doing that.
Gain of a yard to the 33, third down 9.
UAB's going to head to the locker room. So 30 minutes in the books. Ohio State, couple of late touchdowns. They take a 21-12 lead into the locker room with them. Stay tuned, everybody. The Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report coming your way. Dave, Jerry, and Howard, they are next. Ohio State, led by Zach Boren, lead 21-12 at the break. BTN Football is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. In this moment, who has your back? Protect what matters most with an Auto Owners Insurance independent agent representing Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. Welcome back, everyone. An absolutely gorgeous fall day here in Columbus, Ohio. Things have not always been easy for Ohio State as we have made it to halftime. 4 different Script Ohio's being formed as we speak. Not only the Ohio State Marching Band involved, but also the Alumni Marching Band helping out today. So a lot of fun, not only during the game, but also here at the halftime break as well. Welcome back, everyone. Alongside Derek Rackley, I'm Eric Collins. Ohio State in that first half. Man, they really had a hard time with the UAB Blazers for a long time. At one point, trailing 12-7 halfway through the second quarter, but then they finally started to figure things out.
Yeah, that first quarter was not good at all, especially offensively for Ohio State. Braxton Miller and company just couldn't get going. He had a total of 7 yards in the first quarter. But once he started to get things going, this offense really took off. And again, it was just a lot of the athleticism, him putting his foot in the ground. How about a spin move right there that you see from some of the best running backs in the country? That opened things up in the passing game as well. Braxton Miller kept making plays on the ground with his legs, but he was also able to find some of his receivers in Devin Smith, Corey Brown down the football field in the passing game. Everything at that point started to open up. Zach Boren got in for the touchdown, and Ohio State really seized control of the game there late in that second quarter.
But there's still obviously things for Urban Meyer and the Ohio State Buckeyes to work on in the second half. The defense was not perfect. They had issues once again in special teams. They still have 30 minutes to play here before the conference season starts next week. We'll be back to Ohio State in a moment.
Y'all can't touch us. Recognize shorty. Matter of fact, I'm tired of talking to you. Drop and give me 40. We ready for 'em, let's get it on. 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 We ready for 'em, let's get it on.
BTN football is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Getting ready to start the third quarter. Ohio State ranked 16th in the country on top of UAB 21-12. Take a look at our 5-hour energy first half stats.
You can see for Ohio State, much of those yards came in the second quarter of the ball game. Good thing for the Buckeyes, no turnovers so far. They did get the one on the other side for UAB and were able to convert it into points, and they continue to be successful in the red zone, which is a positive for Ohio State's offense.
Let's go down to the field. Lisa Byington had a chance to talk to both head coaches. Lisa.
Yeah, Eric, starting with UAB head coach Garrett McGee, he said we have to defend the pass. We were gearing so much in our game plan to stop Braxton Miller because he's such a good runner. It's almost like we forgot about the passing game. Ohio State side, Urban Meyer said he felt like they were blitzing a lot. How did they counter that? How did they score 3 straight times? They spread the field. He wants to continue to do that in the second half. As for his impressions on this defense, he said he saw improvement, but no, I'm still not happy.
Takes a whole bunch to make Urban Meyer happy when he's talking about his football team. He expects perfection.
Well, he should. He should out of his football team, and you will probably never hear Urban Meyer say that he's happy or his team is meeting his expectations. Maybe once the season's done, but he's always striving for more, which is what you want to see out of your head coach.
Urban Meyer trying to become the 6th Ohio State head coach to win his first 4 games with Ohio State. Last man to do it, Earl Bruce. It's been a nice day, but we do have a bit of wind. Ohio State's going to receive this third quarter kickoff, and they're going to have the wind at their back for the third quarter play.
Yeah, really important that they get off to a fast start here in the second half. That was not the case to open the ball game, especially offensively. Braxton Miller, you'd like to think that with some of the success they had late in that second quarter that they could come out hitting on all cylinders and be able to bring this ball down the field to put points on the board.
Oh, they're going to try an onside kick. It's a beauty. Another special teams issue for Ohio State. They get caught not paying attention, and UAB recovers the onside kick.
Without a doubt, winning the battle in special teams right now. You saw the little pooch kick, and Jake Stoneburner was the guy that had an opportunity. If he could have seen it a little earlier, he could have came up and made a fair catch. Here's Stoneburner right here. He's got the opportunity to come up. If he can get up there quickly, he can fair catch, but that surprise onside is what we call it. Executed perfectly right there by the Blazers.
So Garrett McGee, another quality decision. Gives the Blazers the ball, first down and 10. Austin Brown remains in at quarterback, hands it off to Darren Reeves, who's stopped by John Simon, gain of 3.
You can see it was just a little pooch kick. Got underneath it, allowed the coverage team to run down and get underneath the football. Again, Stoneburner just was not in position. He didn't recognize it early enough to come up and make a play on the ball.
Doesn't go as a turnover, but might as well. Just wonderful special teams play for UAB. Incomplete, trying to get it to Nick Adams. It'll bring up 3rd down. UAB in the first half actually had some success against this Ohio State defense. Picked up 188 yards, but they never made it inside the Ohio State 30.
Just staying poised right there on the defense, that kind of that bend and don't break philosophy. Nice job buckling down by Ohio State. Another important down right here to see if they can't bail out the special teams.
Dump out of the backfield, Reeves, nowhere to go. Swarming Ohio State defense in control, and it's no gain on 3rd down.
Now we're getting a chance to see some good pursuit right there by the Buckeyes defense, recognizing that play, getting off of their blocks and running over, keeping Reeves inside, funneling him back to the rest of the defenders and getting him on the ground to force a 4th down.
Hunter Mullins is going to come on to try and pin Ohio State back. Hall has it sail over his head, and it'll be a touchback ball on the 20. So a punt of 44 yards, but a net of just 24. And after that delay because of the successful onside kick, now Ohio State will have the ball for the first time in the 3rd quarter.
Again, this is a team game here. You want to make sure that all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams, work together. Special teams has not been strong today, but the defense did their part in getting a stop. Now let's see if Braxton Miller can find that momentum that he had there in the 2nd quarter and bring this offense down the field.
UAB showing blitz on 1st down. Drake Irvin, one of the linebackers, inching up closer. Now he drops back. Just 4 men rushing, and the pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10. Connor Boyette credited with that pass deflection.
Braxton Miller was focused in on Jordan Hall right there. See, there was a little bit of compression of the pocket. UAB able to get their arm up and knock that football down.
3 receivers, all bottom of your screen for Ohio State. Give goes to Hall. He barrels across the 25. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2. What have you seen out of Jordan Hall? How close is he to being in Big Ten conference schedule form?
Well, he's getting really close, and I think what you're seeing is that they're putting him back there at punt return as well, not just putting him on offense, so they're starting to feel comfortable that he's getting his legs back underneath him, and no doubt that he's a dynamic player. He's got to be on the field on offense. He's got to be in the field in the return game because he makes plays once he gets going.
All trapped in the backfield. No gain. Greg Irvin with a nice play. And it's going to be a 3 and out for Ohio State.
Yeah, they just didn't have the right read there. You could see that both Miller and Hall were a little uncertain about what was going to happen. And again, this all falls on the quarterback. You got to make the decision. Either you're going to give it or you're going to pull it out. It seemed like at the last second, Braxton Miller thought about pulling that football back out, wasn't able to.
Derek, you mentioned in the first half, Ohio State can score in bunches, but then there's other times when they're just almost disinterested offensively. Buchanan, high kick. Blazers get away from it, and it bounces inside the 25-yard line. Punt of 48 yards. UAB back on offense when we come back to Ohio Stadium. .12 remaining 3rd quarter. UAB and Ohio State meeting for the first time on a football field. Ohio State defensively has played this entire game without their starting corner, Bradley Roby, and one of their starting safeties, C.J. Barnett. They still have kept UAB out of the end zone so far this afternoon. first down carry. Dontavius Jackson wrapped up by Jonathan Hankins. Big fella going sideline to sideline to make that tackle.
Yeah, looks like he's showing no effects of that injury earlier in the ball game in the first half, and that's what's just so impressive about him, is that he's got the strength and the power to be able to condense the pocket, push those offensive linemen back in the backfield, but once he recognizes the play, he's also got really good speed and quickness for somebody his size.
Austin Brown, pass is complete. Off the flat, Nick Adams makes a nice move, breaks a tackle, and gets to the 40-yard line. Flag comes down late, pickup of 12 if it stands.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit, defense number 2, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Christian Bryant, junior safety from Cleveland. He's one of those Glenville High School tar blooders. Of course, Troy Smith and Ted Ginn, among others, who have come from Glenville High.
Well,
Travis on number 2. Is it indeed on Christian Bryant?
Travis Howard had a shot right there, but right at the end of the play, looks like that was Sabino and Orion Johnson that were at the end of the play.
It was actually in the left-hand part of your screen.
It
Christian
was,
Bryant
it was.
not on the ball. Is that a delay of game? No, they call a timeout.
Timeout. Alabama,
Tell you what,
Birmingham.
Garrett McGee, he's noticed a lot of different things. Garrett McGee, first-year head coach of the UAB Blazer. He's buttoned up, at least this afternoon, calls the timeout to avoid the 5-yard penalty. We're going to keep it right here. Garrett McGee, if you're just joining us, he's got those Big Ten ties. Longtime assistant to Randy Walker and also Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern. Spent the last couple of seasons down in Fayetteville, Arkansas, working with Bobby Petrino.
So you can see that his coaching pedigree is in spread style of offenses, ones that have been very notorious for being able to move the football up and down the field, and he's really trying to bring that style of play here to UAB. But just like most coaches, new coaches going to a program that hasn't seen a whole lot of success, it is definitely a process of getting guys to buy into what you're trying to preach, have them really reprogram their minds from the previous regimes.
Now get all access video content, download our great mobile apps, and participate in one-of-a-kind online auctions. OhioStateBuckeyes.com. It's part of the Big Ten Digital Network. First down and 10. Blazers have already crossed midfield. Skittering through that first wave of defenders. Darren Reeves picks up 4. Another tackle for Jonathan Hankins, helped out by Etienne Sabino.
The running game through the first couple of games for UAB has really been struggling, but they've seemed to really kind of find some success. And when you determine success for offense, you see in Ohio State, looks like Nathan Williams is down on the field. He's getting 4 yards or more on first down, which was what UAB was able to do.
Steve, Derek, not only just a lot of tackles for Jonathan Hankins, but what's impressing me is he's been on the field for 90% of the defensive plays. The stamina that he has built up this year is totally different than in years past.
Yeah, really worked on his conditioning this offseason and wanting to be able to bring his play to the next level. And the way you do that is get yourself in great shape to be able to stay on the field through all 3 downs of a series.
This is big. Nathan Williams coming back from microfracture surgery in his knee. Trying to get back to that Buckeye sideline. Making his first start this year is Nathan Williams at one of the end spots for Ohio State. So Williams going to the sideline. He's replaced by true freshman Noah Spence. Shazier, who was nicked up in the first half, makes that tackle of Darren Reeves, a pickup of 5. Bring up third down and short.
See that Jeff Brom, Garrett McGee seem to have felt comfortable with Austin Brown in the ballgame. He's really taken the majority of the snaps outside of that first quarter when we saw Jonathan Perry.
They bring a fullback in the game, Sam Accurcio. Power formation. And a power play. Reeves has the first down, but there's a flag down on the field. Would be a pickup of 7.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 79, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, I believe they're going to call that on Cody Payne. A lot of times you see that chop block being called on the backside when your guard and your tackle are trying to cut down the backside, and there's a miscommunication by one guy not saying that he's going to come through. There it was right on the backside, on the left-hand side of the line of scrimmage. But they had themselves a great play, picked up the first down. Unfortunately, brings them back to a long 3rd down situation.
3rd and 1 goes to 3rd and 16. Play clock winding down. They get it off. Franklin breaks a couple of tackles and gets out to about the 42. Decent game, but it's still going to be 4th down.
A lot of times these running plays are just meant to get a couple of yards and be able to bring the punt team out, but chance right there to see Franklin almost slip through a couple of tackles to pick up a 1st down, but nice job by hanging in there by Ohio State to force that 4th down.
How will Urban Meyer grade the tackling he's seen so far today?
I think there's still work to be done. I've seen quite a few missed tackles throughout the ball game.
Mullins, low kick, bounces at the 20, rolls to the 15. Punt of 27 yards, no return. Timeout on the field. Ohio State on top by 9. Urban Meyer trying to figure things out here in Columbus. Ohio State's 2nd possession of the 2nd half. They went 3 and out. Their other possession. Braxton Miller out of the gun. Right up the gut with Jordan Hall. Pick up a 4 on 1st down. Braxton Miller was the subject of today's Twitter poll. We asked who thinks this guy's got a chance to be a Heisman candidate. 71% say yes, Braxton Miller is already a Heisman candidate.
Tell you what, he keeps running the football like he did the first 3 games, putting the ball in the end zone. There's going to be a lot of people throwing his name out there for Heisman consideration.
Next week's going to be a real test against the Michigan State Spartans. On cue, nice run, Braxton Miller. Pushed out of bounds, but a gain of 13 yards.
You know, a lot of times you don't see quarterbacks breaking tackles. Not the strongest guys on the field, but he just continues with his footwork to be able to get out of tackles. You might talk about Marvin Burdett, the best tackler for UAB, is not able to bring him down.
A lot of big plays with Braxton Miller. Jordan Hall with him in the backfield now, possibly Braxton Miller changing a play, trying to do more of that this afternoon. Hall flips through the line. Good 1st down gain, 6 yards for the senior.
You can see him really starting to survey that defense. I believe he was looking out at Greg Irvin, number 7, who was lined up over the slot, started inching his way in there, felt like he was going to come in a blitz.
Quick snap, Miller on the run. Catch is made by Smith, out across the midfield stripe. Another 1st down for the Buckeyes.
That's nice patience right there by Braxton Miller. He allows Corey Brown, number 10, to be able to pull the defender out of space, which right there at the last second, him pulling Greg Irvin out, opened up that window for Devin Smith.
Tempo has definitely changed here on this drive. Buckeyes barrel forward for a pickup of a pair. Jordan Hall continues to be the featured man here in the 2nd half. With more on Jordan Hall, let's go down to Lisa.
Eric, it's interesting to watch the dynamic between Jordan Hall and his running back mate, Carlos Hyde, who is injured for this game. Carlos Hyde actually sought him out on the sideline, told him to trust the play, trust the offensive line. That is a complete switch with Carlos Hyde before. His offensive coordinator, Tom Herman, had said he used to be an energy vampire. Now teammates want to be around him. In fact, he's seeking out his teammates here on the sideline.
That sounds like Tom Herman, an energy vampire. Very colorful language for the first-year Ohio State offensive coordinator. Braxton Miller was tripped up. It's going to be a loss of 6, bringing up 3rd down and 12.
I hadn't seen that much this ball game. The pocket for Ohio State, especially in the last couple of quarters, getting condensed. But Corey Lindsley, the center right there, got pushed back in the backfield and tripped Braxton Miller up.
Third down and a bunch. Buckeyes have only converted 1 third down so far this afternoon. They need 12 here. Short, incomplete, looking for Boren out of the backfield. So a promising drive. Looks like it's going to come to an end.
Yeah, unfortunately on that last play, that 2nd down play is what set him back. Braxton Miller now 0 for 4 on 3rd downs. Normally pretty good in that situation, especially once you get on the other side of the 50-yard line. That play likely was going to come up short. UAB had a good defense set up to slow down Zach Boren had he caught that football.
Ben Buchanan had a punt blocked for a touchdown back in the 1st quarter. Fair catch called for. Jackie Williams lets it go over his head, and it's a mistake. Ohio State downs the football inside the 5. Was that the long snapper, Bryce Haynes? It was. Give it up to the long snapper, Haynes. Not only snaps it, but he's the fastest man down the field, and he downs the football inside the 5-yard line. Nice work, young man. Buckeye fans have proven that they are ready for the conference season to start. Now the question is, are the Buckeye football players ready for the conference season to start? Going to kick it off next Saturday against Michigan State. Still work to do against UAB. Catch is made, tackle is missed. Jackie Williams picks up an extra yard or 2, and he's thrown out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Fickle, Ohio State defensive coordinator, looking on. He's concerned. UAB has gained some yards already twice here in this 2nd half. The Blazers have crossed into Ohio State territory. They've had to punt both times, though. 2nd and 2. Flag is down. Reeves out close to the 1st down marker, but we'll have to figure out the flag situation.
Personal foul. Chop block. Offense, number 79. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
That went against Cody Payne. Left side of your screen. Coming into view, you can see it right there. That's where that chop block, you can see the center is still up blocking, and Cody Payne tries to go down low on Joel Hale. Easy call for the officials.
2nd time we've had that call against Cody Payne this half. Good news for Ohio State and their fans. Nathan Williams back on the field, number 43. Coming off the edge, Williams almost got close to the quarterback. It's out to the 15-yard line by number 15. Jackie Williams, a pickup of 10 and another 1st down for UAB.
It's a pretty good passing offense, and you got to give Austin Brown a lot of credit because he's seeing a lot of red jerseys get in his face, but he's getting back there, he's making quick decisions and getting the football out of his hands into the receivers.
Yeah, the starting quarterback today for UAB is Jonathan Perry. With the first 2 series, we expected Austin Brown to come in, but we thought we'd see Perry back in at least at some point. That hadn't happened. Let's go to Mike Hall in Chicago for a BTN.com studio update.
Eric, you got a potential Heisman candidate in your game in Braxton Miller. We got one in Iowa City. Mark Weissman plowing into the end zone. That's his 5th touchdown in the last 7 quarters, Eric.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Iowa in a dogfight there with Central Michigan. Throwing the ball up for grabs, and it's intercepted. Travis Howard has the ball. There is a flag down on the field. But for right now, an interception for Ohio State.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, for Ohio State, that play was doomed from the beginning, lining up offsides.
Tough break right there for the Buckeyes. They came up with the interception. Could have definitely been a momentum changer here in the second half. It's been, again, a really sluggish start for Ohio State. And you can see right there the offsides by 51 Joel Hale.
We've had a scoreless third quarter. 3:48 left to play here in the third. Brown wants a bunch, throws it out. Pass too long to Marcus Nelson was the intended target. Ohio State playing without one of their corners, Bradley Roby. Also, C.J. Barnett has not played. Orion Johnson's played the entire game for the Buckeyes.
Personal foul. Chop block. Number 60 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Derek, what's happening here with UAB? That's the third time this quarter that penalty's been called.
There's got to be a lack of communication going on up front, because as I talked about, these chop blocks happen. It's going to be again right there on the left-hand side, number 60, Casey Ike. Is that the guys up front just aren't communicating with each other. That a lot of times when you're trying to cut down the backside, if you're the tackle and you're going to cut, that guard has got to get out of your way. He's got to go ahead and fly through to the next level so that defensive lineman does not have anybody tied up.
Blazers their own worst enemy. 1st and 23. Wraparound handoff. Reeves still on his feet. Out to the 18-yard line. Hard gain, 5 yards.
Yeah, just a tough run right there by Reeves. Realizing that upon first contact, the play's not over. You keep those legs moving, pick up a couple of extra yards.
Design quarterback keeper, and it doesn't fool John Simon. He's seen that play before. Brown met right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long.
You had Simon there, and you also had Nathan Williams kind of coming on a delayed blitz right up the gut, so it wasn't the right play against this type of defense. You can see Williams coming in, he spins off, but Simon right there to make the play.
There's a Blazer down on the field. It's going to give UAB a chance to think about this a little bit longer. It's 3rd down and 15. Brian O'Leary is the man down for the Blazers. Don't forget, coming up next, it's more football action. We've got Spartans, Cornhuskers, Wildcats all taking the field today at 3:30 Eastern, presented by John Deere. Go to btn.com/gamefinder to find the game in your area. South Dakota taking on Northwestern in Evanston. Northwestern trying to get to 4-0. Be interesting to see Eastern Michigan as well against Michigan State. So a lot of Ohio State fans will be interested to see how Michigan State bounces back from what happened last week against Notre Dame. Third down on a bunch. Brown. What a play. Bashir Coles started in the backfield on that play, streaked down the left sideline, and picks up 32 yards on 3rd and 17.
Well, you can see Brown gets flushed out of the pocket, but I like how he keeps his eyes downfield, and he kind of gets that non-verbal back shoulder throw, if you will, and Corey Brown not able to get his hand up to knock it down.
Jackie Williams, another catch. Once again, UAB has made it into Ohio State territory. Third time here in this third quarter that they've done that.
Yeah, we talked at the top of the telecast about this Ohio State defense really needing to slow down and limit the big plays. And, you know, that last completion you had, as you mentioned, Eric, third in the bunch. That's a play that you just got to make sure you keep everybody in front of you. Make the play, get off the field. Instead, UAB picks up the first down and gets into Ohio State territory.
Coles breaks the tackle of Nathan Williams and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Almost on the carry.
Well, Nathan Williams coming back after he got shaken up in the first half, and this is a tackle that he usually comes down with. And again, we talked about it early in the ball game, and it continues to be an issue throughout this game. There's a lot of missed tackles on this Buckeye defense.
Third down and 1. Power football, and the Blazers have a first down. Reeves, pickup of 5 on 3rd and 1. This Reeves kid showing me something. 5'10", 210 out of Birmingham, Alabama. Second time today we've seen Ryan Shazier head to the Ohio State bench to get some medical attention. Williams after the quarterback. Brown just has to run out of bounds. Connor Kroll also involved, and it'll be a loss.
See Duran Grant, number 12, coming in to get him out of bounds. Let's take a look at Shazier, number 10. He comes up and makes that hit. A good hit, meeting Reeves in the hole, but he pulled himself out of the ball game right afterwards.
Final seconds of the third quarter. UAB going into the wind. They keep it on the ground. Reeves is tackled by Garrett Goebel. 45 minutes in the books. Ohio State, they're in a tussle right now with UAB. Fourth quarter is next. Buckeyes up 21-12. Start of the fourth quarter, BTN football presented by United States Marine Corps. UAB and Ohio State, 9-point game. Blazers continue to impress on offense. Look at Jackie Williams down to the 20-yard line. 20 yards on that play. And now Williams down and in pain.
You got to give Jeff Brown, the offensive coordinator, a lot of credit for the type of plays that he's dialing up. 3rd and long situation, goes with a screen, a misdirection screen back across the formation to pick up a first down when that should have been a stop by Ohio State.
Garrick McGee's UAB Blazers have come to Columbus. First time they've ever played the Buckeyes, and they haven't been afraid. At one point, they were up 12-7 in this game. Buckeyes scoring 14 unanswered to end the second quarter, but then a scoreless third quarter. There's a lot to like about UAB and a lot to be concerned about if you're Ohio State.
There is, and especially when UAB is on offense, they've gotten themselves in some tough situations with some penalties and a couple of sacks that have really backed them up, but they've been able to keep the drive going with a couple of long conversions on 3rd down.
I know, you like that? Love it.
It's a big deal. Jackie Williams, probably the best offensive player for UAB. He's being helped to the sideline. While we have a moment, the Polaris hardest working player today, no doubt about it, the defensive tackle from Detroit, Jonathan Hankins.
And again, you said defensive tackle. Defensive tackles are not supposed to put up numbers like that. That's 9 tackles through 3 quarters coming after his game last week in Cal where he had 10 tackles and a sack. That's outstanding performance from one of your interior D linemen.
Play fake. Brown now going to have to run it. Throws incomplete. Dangerous pass weaving it through a couple of Buckeye defenders.
Boston Brown was looking in that direction from the start. He wanted to try to hit a corner route right towards the end zone, but Orion Johnson, number 19, the safety for the Buckeyes, was there, and he just kept reading Brown's eyes, and right at the last second, he makes a break on the play to secure the pass breakup.
2nd and 10. Just trying to set up something middle of the field, and it didn't work. Nathan Williams really busted that thing up nicely.
Well, those have been the plays that have had the most success for UAB, is different types of screens. They've run them from the outside, they've run middle screens, they've run misdirection screens, and for the most part, they've been catching Ohio State's defense off guard.
Look out for something zany here if you're Ohio State defensively. 3rd down and 10. UAB has been very dynamic in terms of their play call. A lot of creativity. Out of the backfield, Reeves with the catch. Still on his feet, tackled from behind. Great pursuit by the senior Nathan Williams. It's going to bring up 4th down, and the field goal unit will come on for UAB.
Yeah, that's a good stop right there for Ohio State's defense. After giving up a couple of long 3rd downs, you can see that Shazier turns it back inside, and that's when Nathan Williams comes out from the defensive line. That good speed, that lateral quickness getting out to make the play.
High long. Already made a 54-yarder this afternoon. That's just easy right there, no doubt about it. Right down the center. So another 3 points for UAB. It's an 84-yard drive. 58 of those yards came on 3rd down. Ohio State just couldn't get off the field. Final non-conference game of the season for Ohio State, and they're in trouble right now. They're only up by 6 on UAB with Derek Rackley. I'm Eric Collins. Derek, summarize the day, what you've seen so far.
Well, I think it's 2-1. When I say 2-1, I mean 2 quarters to 1. UAB won the 1st and the 3rd quarter. Ohio State won the 2nd quarter. They're really going to have to come out. They get the ball coming back on this possession. They got to put points on the board because they're keeping UAB in this ball game. Both sides of the football. Defense, we're seeing missed tackles again, and offensively they came out sluggish in both the 1st and the 3rd quarter, not able to put points on the board.
Buckeyes up, but only by 6. High long, kickoff through the back of the end zone. This kid's been impressive, everything he's done so far this afternoon. Buckeyes will start at the 25-yard line. As we get ready for this drive, let's take a look at our Quicken Loans quarterback comparison.
You can see the UAB quarterback tandem has really seen success through the air. Not so much probably for Braxton Miller, although he was pretty good in that 2nd quarter. He brought some value with what he did on the ground, running the football, but you're going to need to see a lot more of that here in the last 13 minutes and 44 seconds for Ohio State to secure the win.
Miller does have a rushing touchdown. That came tail end of the 2nd quarter. Jordan Hall next to Miller in the backfield. Option football right side. Miller keeps it and goes down. LaMarcus Farmer comes in from his corner spot and makes the play.
Yeah, Farmer was coming from the backside on a corner blitz, and they had the right play on because they went away from it. I think if Braxton pitches this ball and gives it to Jordan Hall and lets him make a play out in space, they're able to pick up yards. Instead, he tries to cut it back. He runs right into the corner blitz by Farmer.
Loss of 6. Dart complete. Devin Smith to catch. Let's go down to Lisa Byington down on the sideline. Lisa.
Well, Garrett McGee went over to all 11 guys who are on offense there, made sure he either tapped their helmet, gave him a high five, told him that he likes the way they're playing hard. He likes their attitude. These guys responded back, enjoying the fact that they have totally quieted this crowd here.
Thanks, Lisa. UAB's been impressive. First-year head coach Garrett McGee has his Blazers up for this game. Here comes the blitz. Miller runs right into it. It's going to be another 3 and out. Buckeyes are going to have to give up the football. Derek Scott getting in the backfield and blowing that play up.
Ohio State tries to pull both the backside guard and tackle, Norwell and Muhort, but they didn't get the line of scrimmage secured. Derek Scott gets the penetration and comes through and puts the punt team back on the field for Ohio State.
Special teams have been an issue for Ohio State this afternoon. Had a punt block back in the first quarter. This punt doesn't look particularly good, but it's going to get a nice result, at least for Ohio State fans. It bounces inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Only went about 25 yards in the air, but it got a 22-yard roll. All told, it's a 47-yard punt for Ben Buchanan.
Eric, just going back to what Lisa had said about UAB is the fact that they ended up putting together that long drive that started back on the 4-yard line, able to cap it off with a field goal, and then Ohio State comes on the field, and they're not able to pick up a first down. So now you're getting that Buckeye defense back out on the field, maybe a little bit winded, didn't get the proper rest. With a Blazer offense that's had pretty good success.
Just saw that score. Central Michigan playing Iowa really tightly out in Iowa City. If you want to second screen that one, BTN to go. That would be a good option for you. But right now, I want to stick around for this one. 11:39 left. UAB trails by 6, but they've got the ball. Greg Franklin barrels forward for a pickup of 5.
Greg Franklin, the ball carrier.
UAB's had a nice rotation of backs. We've seen Franklin, Dontavius Jackson, Darren Reeves, and all have been at least mildly effective.
They have, and in the first half, they weren't having a whole lot of success running through the middle of the defense, but you got to give a lot of credit to the running backs for running tough, and that offensive line for UAB has really kind of settled down here in the second half and created some holes.
Buckeyes still haven't given up a touchdown, at least on defense. Simon in the quarterback's face forces the pass out of bounds. 3rd down upcoming.
See a veteran play right there by Johnny Simon, chasing down the quarterback. Not only is he going after the sack, but he gets that left arm up because he's trying to make sure that he gets in the vision of the quarterback, and if he does throw it, to see if he can't knock it down. You can see that left arm, but all meanwhile he's trying to pursue to make the sack.
Can the Buckeyes get off the field defensively? Incomplete. Looking for Patrick Hearn, Christian Bryant on the coverage, and a flag comes down late. Oh, this is well after the play, and a flag is down.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, defense, number 2, 14-yard penalty, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Second time today, a personal foul on Christian Bryant.
That just can't happen. I mean, you've seen the emotions get the best of guys. It ends up being a pretty good play right here between Bryant and Johnson. They get the pass breakup, and then after the play is when you see Bryant come up and he starts jarring at him. A little bit of shove right there by Hearn, but referee standing right there. And you know, one of the emphasis is they don't want guys taunting that whole sportsmanship.
So a first down for UAB, trying to capitalize. Big gainer, catch made, Patrick Hearn. Travis Howard on the coverage. Pickup of 21.
And Travis Howard was right there, but right at the last second when Hearn came out of his break, he lost his footing, which created a little bit of separation for Brown to deliver that football.
Quickly, out in the flat. Jamarcus Nelson, good first down gain.
And here's a look at that previous play. You can see that Travis Howard was playing catch up right there because right as Hearn was coming out of his break, he lost his footing trying to put his foot in the ground. to close the gap with the receiver.
Simon can't get the quarterback down, but he does force an errant throw. Looking for Hearn in the end zone. The pass sails high. Good pressure once again by the senior from Youngstown.
Yeah, he continues to get in the backfield, and Orion Johnson had an opportunity right at the end of the play to maybe get his hands on an interception. You can see him break coming up to the receiver, and the ball just sailed over the top of his head.
Flag comes down on the field.
Substitution infraction. 12 men in formation by the offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Procedural problems not going to make Garrick McGee very happy. It costs him 5 yards. And if they have to settle for a field goal, and if they don't get this third down, it's going to make it that much further.
Yeah, and they had a manageable third down situation before the penalty. Now it's going to back them up to about 3rd and 11, a little bit tougher. Although UAB has had some pretty good success picking up third down conversions.
Iowa has just moved ahead over Central Michigan by 1. A field goal just a moment ago. 3rd down and 11. Buckeyes defense trying to get off the field. Incomplete. Wouldn't have been close to the first down marker. It's 4th down and 11.
Yeah, you saw a prevent defense there too. Ohio State only rushes 3. They drop 8 back into the coverage. Wanted to make sure that they have everything tied up, keep the receivers in front of them. But they were still able to get in the backfield as Simon is just a relentless worker on the front.
Ty Long has already made 3 field goals. This is going to be a 46-yard attempt. No good. First time today, Ty Long misses a field goal. That snaps a streak of 12 consecutive made dating back to last year.
And that's the break that Ohio State needed. They needed that momentum. The missed field goal might be what gives it to them.
BTN Football is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. By Verizon. Call ** NFL to get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile from Verizon. And by Case IH. Be ready with proven leadership. To learn more, visit caseih.com/4 is greater than 2. Now 21 is greater than 15. That's our score right now with 10:03 remaining in the 4th quarter. Buckeyes up by 6. They have not been impressive offensively in the second half. They'll try and get something going. Here with Braxton Miller working out of the gun. Right side, designed quarterback run. Flag down on the field. Miller out of bounds at the 40. Would be a pickup of 11.
Holding, offense, number 44. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Zach Boren there, the guilty party. Here he is right here. Just watch him come around, trying to lead through. You can see that left arm just wraps around the defender. Good call by the official.
These are the second half possessions for Ohio State. 2 3 and outs. Other time they picked up a couple of first downs, but not nearly enough offense against UAB for Ohio State. 1st and 20. Miller. Incomplete. Corey Brown had a step. Miller on the run just couldn't get it to him.
Yeah, he had a step, Eric, and if he was just able to lead Corey Brown down towards the sidelines, this would have been a completed pass, but he had to slow down and then allowed Calvin Jones the opportunity to catch up and knock the football away.
This half, Braxton Miller, 2 for 5, 20 yards throwing. Brown moves into the backfield now. Jordan Hall. Pick up of 13, maybe 14 yards on 2nd and 20.
Generally, when you get a 2nd and long situation, you're trying to basically cut that distance in half that you have for 3rd down. So that was a successful play for Ohio State to get themselves back to a manageable 3rd down situation.
3rd down 6.
UAB only rushing 3. Underneath pass is caught by Brown. It's a 1st down. So Ohio State climbs back from a 1st and 20 to get a 1st down.
That's good execution on these last 2 plays after they got themselves backed up with the holding penalty. We saw the nice running play there by Jordan Hall and then a nice pitch and catch for Braxton Miller.
Design run left side. Miller out of bounds. Good 1st down yards. 9 of them. 2nd down and 1.
Yeah, the telltale sign when they're doing that design quarterback run, especially when they get in that option look, is when you see the tackle block the defensive end, the end man on the line of scrimmage, and then you see the running back, Jordan Hall, be that leading blocker going through the line of scrimmage. That's when they have 1 extra blocker than you have defender.
Jake Stoneburner hadn't been a big part of the Buckeye offense so far today. Doesn't have a catch so far. Out of the backfield, this is Hall, has the 1st down. Hall out to the 35. 14 more yards for number 7.
Good read right there by Braxton Miller. He sees Jordan Hall flying out, and Kelton Brackett, who was the corner on that side, gave some cushion. He realized that he was going to have some space to run, got the ball out of his hands quickly, and let Jordan Hall get a 1st down.
Wasn't an easy pass to catch. That ball was threaded in between a couple of outstanding arms. Complete to the tight end, Jeff Hireman, his 1st catch. Just the 3rd catch of the season. And Ohio State, their most impressive drive here in the 2nd half.
Braxton had a couple of options right there. I like the decision of getting the ball into the hands of his tight end. He also had Corey Brown dragging across the middle of the defense, was wide open as well. Had a couple of opportunities to let his receivers make a play.
Derek, this is the same theme that we saw in the 2nd quarter. Braxton Miller so much better throwing the ball going this direction into the wind. Patience for Miller. And Miller inside the 10, down to the 6. He just waits for kind of the traffic in front of him to blow by and then explodes through the hole.
Yeah, it was good patience, Eric. It was also a really good block by Jordan Hall. Watch number 7 come through the hole, get that seal block right there on Daheem Watkins, which is able to let Miller get through the hole untouched.
17 yards to the UAB 7, Ohio
17 more yards for Braxton Miller. They bring in the big back now, Rod Smith, 6'3", 228 pounds. This is Smith, and Smith down close to the goal line is stopped at the 1.
Rod Smith, the ball carrier.
Smith had a touchdown in the 1st half, almost had one here.
You can see what Tom Herman's trying to do once he gets inside the 10 and the 5-yard line, is he's giving the ball to Rod Smith and Zach Boren, guys that got a little bit more size and strength to be able to push their way into the end zone.
Smith caught from behind. Craig Irvin on the stop. 3rd and goal.
Irvin was one of those guys that ended up unblocked, but he had a nice job of running it down from the backside. A lot of times offenses will leave the end man on the line of scrimmage away from the play unblocked betting on the fact that he's not going to be able to run down the play from the backside.
Already 9 plays on this drive. Keeper, Miller, touchdown, Ohio State. Buckeyes up by 12, 5:03 left to play. And because they're up by 12, they're going to go for 2. Urban Meyer deciding, you know what? 13 points, not nearly as significant in this type of game as the 14, 2 full touchdowns and 2 extra points that a 2-point conversion would give them.
And every team has a play dialed up if they're going to go for 2. So you can see that Ohio State gets the ball moved to the left hash because the play that they want to run, they want to be able to have the right side open to the field because of the plays that they have dialed up.
Misdirection. Miller, one man to beat. He beats him. 2 more points for the Buckeyes.
After the play was over, personal foul, defense number 7. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The 2-point conversion is good.
Personal foul on Greg Irvin. And Ohio State, not only the touchdown, but the 2-point conversion to put them up by 14.
See the decision by Braxton Miller, just decides on his own to go outside, and he gets the stiff arm on Kelton Brackett to get in for the 2-point.
Ohio State, 4 touchdowns today. All of them have been on the ground. They also have a 2-point conversion picked up on the ground. Ohio State on top of UAB 29-15. 5:03 left to play. It has not been easy for Ohio State.
They've definitely had their lulls on both sides of the ball, specifically offensively, because you get the impression that this offense is really strong, starting to come into their own. It's a speedway scoring drive right here, which was a big one for Ohio State. Being able to chew up 71 yards, take up 5 minutes off of the clock. And then, of course, the penalty that occurred right after the 2-point conversion will likely set up an automatic touchback here for Ohio State.
Drew Basil kicking off for Ohio State. Marcus Nelson and Greg Franklin will receive the placers.
Ball has fallen off the tee.
Come on.
4th and final non-conference home game for Ohio State to begin this season. Next week it's on the road at Michigan State. We've had winds 18 miles per hour right now at Ohio Stadium. Touchback ball to 25.
Marcus Nelson down to kick off in the end zone for a touchback.
Let's take a look at the John Deere Gator game changer. And it's the quarterback for Ohio State, Braxton Miller.
And he's really been a game changer throughout the previous 3 ball games, and as well again today. You can see the balance, a lot of it coming on in the ground game. Over 200 yards of total offense. And most importantly was that last drive, being able to lead this offense down the field, not only get the touchdown, but also the 2-point conversion to put Ohio State up a full 14 points.
Redshirt freshman quarterback Austin Brown still in the game. Incomplete. Jay Davis can't hang on. Etienne Sabino whacked him.
Sabino's been playing really good football, I think. this afternoon. He's really been doing a good job of recovering in the pass game. Right there, you saw him use his speed to catch up and get the last-minute hit to jar that football loose, and has also ran a lot of plays down in the running game as well.
Dangerous pass, it's intercepted. Durant Grant, his first college start, and it's going to end with an interception.
Austin Brown got a little greedy on that play. He's throwing this ball into cover 2. There's way too much air underneath it, and you can see Durant Grant just sinks underneath the ball. And if he doesn't pick it off, you got to think Christian Bryant's going to break it up. That's just trying to bite off a little bit more than you can chew when you're going against a cover 2, and both the defenders are right there to make a play. And I would imagine that's what Garrett McGee is telling him right there. So when you see cover 2, you got a different route combination on the other side. That's where you need to go.
Opportunistic day for Durant Grant, recovered a fumble back in the second quarter, and now with an interception. Braxton Miller goes backwards. Chris Walton with the sack. Clock continues to move. Coming up on 4.5 minutes to play. Now, this has been the preferred direction for Ohio State. They have scored all of their points heading into this end zone. Power run, Jordan Hall on 2nd and 17. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Marvin Burnett on the tackle.
Now heading in this direction, which is actually into the wind. Ohio State 29 points, 265 yards. Going the other way with the wind at their back, a whole bunch of nothing.
Very interesting statistic, and I don't know if the wind has anything to do with it, but they've definitely had a whole lot more success coming this direction from left to right.
Third down, Miller guns it down the left sideline, incomplete. Looking for his big play guy, Devin Smith. LaMarcus Farmer on the coverage.
And it just seems like in big football games that's a catch that Devin Smith comes up with. Give a lot of credit to the offensive line for giving Miller enough time, but boy, did he have an opportunity. That touches his hands. It's right there. He's just got to squeeze it and bring it in.
Incompletion stops the clock, 3:27 left to play. Sixth punt for Ben Buchanan. On a beautiful roll. It'll be down inside the 5. Punt of 40 yards, no return. And the UAB Blazers backed up against their own goal line. Coming up, more Big Ten Network football. Michigan State, Nebraska, and Northwestern all taking the field. That's today at 3:30 Eastern, presented by John Deere. Go to btn.com/gamefinder to find the game in your area. Ohio State will take on Michigan State next week, their first road game, their first conference game, all same Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that'll be an excellent matchup. See how Michigan State responds after their loss to Notre Dame last weekend. I think we're seeing today that Ohio State definitely still has work to do in all 3 phases of the game.
Fullback coming out of the backfield. First catch so far today for Accurcio. Pickup of 7. Let's take a look at today's Verizon Key Connection.
Well, we saw some growth by Braxton Miller last week against Cal in the passing game. Made some more of that again today, reading the defense, finding the open receiver, and especially in opportune times, bringing the team down the field and putting the ball into the end zone.
That'll be a first down for UAB. Pickup of 4 for Darren Reeves. Stops the clock momentarily as the chains move.
Gain of 4 to the 15.
Derek, you played in this conference. How big of a deal is it going to be for Ohio State playing 4 straight home games and now having to go on the road for the first conference game?
Well, it's going to be a challenge, definitely, because that atmosphere up at Michigan State is going to be pretty ruckus because both teams have got high expectations, and Ohio State will definitely have to work against crowd noise next week.
Pressure. Buckeyes get to the quarterback and force an incompletion.
Austin Brown's pass intended for Sam Curcio, incomplete.
No more non-conference play for Ohio State. 8 Big Ten conference games.
Yeah, you can see they go on the road. Got a couple of tough games. At Michigan State, they get Nebraska at home. Indiana on Big Ten Network a couple of weeks later.
Derek, another big story here in Columbus this week is the increased level of responsibility for Braxton Miller, giving him the opportunity to audible in and out of plays. How did he react so far today with that new responsibility?
I think he did pretty good, Eric. You could definitely see him surveying the defense on a number of occasions, and it looked to me anyway, you never know when a quarterback goes to the line of scrimmage if there's design plays that he can check to another one, or if he's going up there and making the call on his own. But you definitely saw that today, and he looked comfortable doing it.
Sabino gonna head to the sideline for a blow. He's had a nice day. Under 2 minutes to play. Third down catch. UAB still getting after it offensively. Patrick Hearn. Clock will stop with 1:43 left.
Ohio State just has to make sure that they continue to keep the football in front of them in this situation. Under 2 minutes to go, up a couple of scores, but you can't allow a big play to go out behind you.
Number 10, Ryan Shazier, is going to have to leave the field. His helmet came off during that last play. So the big stories around Ohio State. New responsibility for Braxton Miller. Inconsistent offense for Ohio State. And defense. Can they shore up the tackling? Have we answered all those questions?
I don't think so. I think you still have question marks defensively with the tackling. We saw quite a few examples of that today. And if you look, again, going back to the first and the third quarter, the offense was basically nowhere to be found. They were not able to find momentum, be able to sustain drives. They put the defense back out on the field. And then, of course, didn't even mention the third phase, which we didn't think about coming into the game, which was special teams. They gave up quite a few plays that made a difference in the ball game in special teams.
Yeah, the first score of the game coming on a blocked punt. Ben Buchanan couldn't get it off. Not only was it blocked, but it was picked up and run in for a touchdown. It's the only touchdown that UAB has managed today. All their other scoring has come via the field goal.
By Joel Hale and Ryan Shazier. Gain of 9 to the 39, third down 1.
So the first meeting between these two schools in Ohio State, they're going to remember this one. UAB, they came to play, acquitted themselves well, and still not giving up. Flag down on the field in the defensive secondary.
Illegal substitution, 12 players on defense. The penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Missed that illegal substitution on Ohio State. Say this about UAB, the way they've played this game with a redshirt freshman quarterback in the game for the majority of it, Under a half-minute left to play, and Ohio State still has their defensive starters in this game. Hankins, Goebel, Simon, all still on the field. It hadn't been easy for Ohio State picking up their 4th win of the year.
Yeah, you got to give UAB a lot of credit, especially offensively. They threw a lot at this Ohio State defense.
Brown keeping the play alive, guns it low and incomplete, and that's going to do it. It's in the books. 60 minutes of football here at Ohio Stadium. And Urban Meyer and the Ohio State Buckeye, they were hardly perfect, but their record is still perfect, 4-0.
That's all you want as a coach. You want it to be 4-0 at the end of non-conference play, and that's exactly where Ohio State is.
So Ohio State, they win it 29-15. Let's send you right out to Iowa City. Kevin Kugler.
That was going on there. 9 penalties for 106 yards today against the Iowa Hawkeyes. This one.
Danin.
The sidelines.